Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd take you for a little bit of a walkabout around the garden and show you what's happening right now. We're in the middle of November and things are still looking really beautiful. For example, that's my Jack Frost Northwind Maple, and I talk about this all the time. I did a video on it earlier in the year when I lifted the skirt on it so we could see a little bit more on the bottom, but look at the color on that. So I am gonna flip this around and show you everything that's still interesting and lovely. And fall is my favorite time in the garden, really. I mean, even middle of November, and I'm in love with this space. The colors are obviously more subdued, but there's so much beauty in that too. So I want to show you what things look like and maybe give you some ideas for things that you might want to plant next year to increase the multi-season interest in your own garden. Okay, I'm going to flip it around. And there's that Northwind Maple. And directly across from it, this is a first edition's vanilla strawberry panicle hydrangea. So beautiful fall color, but let me give you a close-up on this. Look at these leaves. Now, this is hardy to zone 4, and I believe it's, 15 feet wide and about 20 feet tall. And I just lifted the skirt a little bit just to give a little bit more light down here and to kind of accentuate the bone structure on that tree. But the leaf, look at that. Really a nice specimen for cold climates. And I've had this in a protected space. It's on the east side of the house. So it's protected from a northern exposure, and just, it's really the perfect spot. And you wouldn't believe what it looked like when they sent it to me. I think it came in 2018, 2019 maybe was when the sample was sent to me. And it's probably, I'd say maybe 12, 13 feet tall now. And then the vanilla strawberry, I'm gonna back up here. The vanilla strawberry panicle hydrangea, more interest here, but those big fluffy brown flowers. And I just leave them for the winter and they look lovely with the snow on them. And then behind them are the North Pole arborvitae. So really just not a whole lot of plants here, but still very, very interesting. Now I'm going to take you through over to the side yard because there are a number of things that I want to show you down this way. And right away is another Japanese maple. This is Waterfall or Viridis. I believe they're pretty much the same thing, two different names, but they are lace leaf cascading maples. And the color on it is so vibrant. Nothing like a Japanese maple for fall color. And then a plant that I've really fallen in love with that I need more of, but can you see this little splash of red down here? That is a Bergenia, a new Bergenia from, or pig squeak as it's also called, from Proven Winners. And I believe, is this Peppermint Patty? Yes, this one's Peppermint Patty. So the leaves get this, look at that color on that. And the leaves are so interesting. It really loves this spot. It's a very protected spot. So this gets a little bit of, barely just like a touch of sun in the afternoon. But for the most part, it's a shadier space because it's shaded by the fence and then by the house, my house directly this way. So, and then I've got a hydrangea serrata next to it. I think this one is maybe. I'll have to check my notes, but still very, very interesting. But that little plant combination of the Viridis or Waterfall Japanese maple, silver gumdrop, heuchera, the hydrangea serrata, and then the Bergenia. I think the fall interest on that is gorgeous. And then I'm still getting the anemone. My Japanese anemones are still flowering and still very interesting, even with the little seed head, but the flowers are still coming along. And then directly behind that is a plant that I'm really excited to show you. Absolutely beautiful. And every time I show it, everybody wants to know what is it. They want to know the name on it. But before I get over there, and you can see the little glimpse of pink over here, my Kindred Spirit oak. The color on that's very, very pretty as well. Give you a little bit of a close-up. Not a whole lot of acorns on it this year. I had a few last year, but still an interesting fall color on that. But let me take you around the back side. And before I go over there, so the color, this is that skyward pink Veronica that I'm gonna divide. And I think I'm gonna, when I split it in the spring, I'm gonna extend it over this way and fill this whole area in. Because if you look at this color this is the fall color. A lot of plants, a lot of flowers, their color goes kind of gnarly in the fall. completely different from in the growing season. Their colors deepen. Not particularly fond of how pink this is right now. Still like the plant though. But look at this combination next to this little, I think this is Firelight Tidbit Panicle Hydrangea. So I'm gonna pull up the flower on that, but look at, picks up the pinks. The pinks are nearly identical here. So this one, I do think this is Firelight Tidbit. I moved it and forgot to put the marker. Can't remember which it is actually. But I think that would be perfect when this tops out of, I think this is like 3 by 3 with the skyward pink Veronica in front of it this way. I think that's gonna be a perfect combination. And then I'm gonna back up and show you here another one of my Japanese maples. This is another lace leaf cascading acer. This is Temukiyama with a lovely, lovely leaf on it. And these do so well in this position because you can see all of my Japanese maples here, back here, and here all do well in this position because they're on the east side of the house, so they're not getting that full-on western sun. They get morning sun, afternoon shade, and that's an ideal situation for them. And then looking this way, this is my Puppy Love Panacetum. It's doing great. And then I'm gonna cross over here and look at the rose. The roses are still, this is that Sweet Fragrance rose from First Editions. These are part of the Easy Elegance collection. Still very fragrant. I got another one down here. That's kind of done, but let's move down this way. Now the Symphora Carpos, this is Coralberry. Look at the pink berries on this. This is a variety called Proudberry. This is from Proven Winners. And there's a lot to love about this plant. So this has native roots and I love it because it's really easy to grow and it's so unique. I mean, look at the interesting colors all through here. I've got pinks and whites and oranges and reds. I mean, it's just like, oh, I see I got a maple tree coming up right here, which has some really pretty fall color too. Interesting. Anyway, as I was saying, the leaves on the Coralberry are really pretty too. They're kind of an oval shape. And during the growing season, they kind of have like a blue-green color to them. It's just a really graceful plant, really easy to take care of. I cut it back in late winter, early spring, and I cut it back pretty hard so it keeps that really nice shape to it. And then it flowers and then gives me those really pretty, look at that. Can't get enough of these guys. So cool. And then the anemones through here. And then further down this way, I've got those more North Pole arborvitaes. Proven Winners sent me a soft serve Chamaecyparis here. And I'm looking forward to that filling in this space. I might have to do a little bit of rearranging in this area here because it should fill this spot. I'm not quite sure what I want to do in front of it. I'm always changing things up. You know, I try things out and then, you know, maybe I don't like it and try something different later. And then right here, because one of my favorite types of roses is a rugosa rose, I put in 2 new rugosas called Lottie's Love. These are also from First Editions plants, First Editions trees and shrubs. And I'm gonna show you exactly why I love rugosa roses when we get around to the backyard garden. And I'll show you the variety that I have there, and they're doing exactly what I love about that plant. And then directly across here, I've got another hydrangea crucifolia or oak leaf hydrangea. Just popped that one in, and that one is, oh gosh, it's not Ruby Slippers. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look that up. It's First Editions as well. I can't remember the name. Oh, Jetstream. This is a Jetstream. But look at the color on that. And the leaf is so leathery feeling. I just love things with interesting texture. It makes it so, just keeps the garden so interesting. You don't always have to have flowers. It's all about, you know, textures and leaf shape and what they do all season long. You know, they're not just like a one and done type of plant. And then I showed you all of this in a previous video. Those are the green wall spire crabapple trees. And then there's a Diamond Rouge panicle hydrangea here that I put in as well. And then directly in front of this, so I think this is a prime example of planting with layers in mind, because I really didn't achieve that layered effect that I was going for that I've done in other parts of the garden. So I swapped some things out, and my layers here are this juniper, and this one is one called Blue Chip from Bailey's. So, and it's already got that really pretty, it's starting to take on a kind of a purple tinge to it, but it's very low growing. So my first layer is evergreen, so it'll be interesting all year long. Then my next layer is the panicle hydrangea, the diamond rouge hydrangea. Then my next layer is the greenwall spire crabapples. So that's how I've achieved that, a layered effect. And it's like a progression. And then the bulbs that I put in here for spring, but it's like a cake. I'm layering and really considering the, you know, the mature height and width of things so that I kind of have I really get a good visual of how it's going to all come together, and we'll see if it plays out the way I imagine it, but I think we're off to a good start. So that is kind of what's interesting. Oh, and I took that pup from my, hardy banana in the springtime. I took a pup, and actually no, the pup I took from the hardy banana last winter, and I kept it indoors just because I wasn't sure if my hardy banana was going to work, you know, over winter in that position and come through the winter okay. So I took the pup and put it here, and I'm just gonna leave this and see what it does. I'm not gonna protect it. It's far more exposed than the other one in the backyard, so we'll see how that does, and I think we'll have a true, you know, true evaluation of exactly how hardy it is with a northeast exposure. I mean, it's gonna get, you can see the wind blows in from this direction, so it's gonna get all of it this year. And then let me show you this tree. Now this is one of my favorites. This went in a long time ago, and the trunk on this, because of the graft, is kind of funny looking. This is a little twist cherry tree. Look at that, it's so beautiful. And then when it gets wet in the winter time too, it kind of glistens. But when I back up, you can see the color on here. Maybe if I come around the other side, it's just got this beautiful fall color. It's lovely, and it's gonna drop its leaves. I mean, it's almost done, but maybe you can get a better idea of what that looks like. It's a small tree, and I do need to kind of rein it in next spring after it flowers. I'll go in and train it a little bit better. And it's beautiful in the springtime too, very pollinator friendly. The bumbles love it. It's got these really pretty little bell-shaped white flowers that always have pollinators in it. So that is a little twist cherry tree, and we're trying to take advantage of the beautiful weather today. It's like 50 degrees. My husband's putting up some Christmas lights while we can before the weather changes. We're supposed to get snow this coming week. So that is little twist cherry. Gosh, those leaves are beautiful, aren't they? And then below it is some stackies. That is big ears, or they also call it Helen von Stein. So some nice texture there as well. And then coming around the other side here, this is a dogwood in yellow. Saffron Sentinel is what it's called. Saffron Sentinel. And the color, it's past its prime, but this is one that I put in last year. So it had some really nice multi-season interest, and it's gone over now though. So let me take you this side. What's looking good over here? Some anemone. Oh, the flowers are done on that. And then the berries on my Tina crab. It's a miniature crab apple. Birds love that, and they've pretty much gobbled up most of the berries that were left on the prairie fire crab. And the hosta has a really nice fall color within the geranium macrorhizum in here. And then moving this way, I've got this is the Ruby Slippers oak leaf hydrangea. Look at that nice color. And this is the easiest hydrangea to grow. You don't have to do anything to it, and it's got that peeling bark on it. So there's some winter interest there, as well as the flowers, the spent flowers, and then that foliage color is beautiful. It's probably the simplest hydrangea to grow. And then directly across from it in this side, the mountain mint still looks beautiful. It's got the bracts on it have that kind of frosted look to it. And I want to show you this is a Ringo rose here, and the thorns on it are pretty aggressive. They are sharp as can be, but look at the hips on this guy. I'm gonna have to come around. It's got beautiful hips, which is another attribute, another thing of interest on roses. If you've got ones that can form some really nice hips, you've got some winter interest there. But those are pretty good size hips. And then, let's see, I still have some pink little flower carpet roses. This is amber, and this has an orangier color to it in the summertime. Not really orange, I guess more of an amber color. It looks pinker now. And what's nice about this rose, and actually the Ringo rose too, super easy to grow. I don't have to ever treat these guys with anything, never gets any black spot, never seems to be phased. It might have some Japanese beetles. Japanese beetles, for whatever reason, do not seem to pay much attention to the carpet roses. I do see them occasionally on the Ringos, but they are just, if you're looking for easy roses, definitely consider Ringo Rose and then the Flower Carpet series. Let me take you this way. Let's see what else we've got in bloom here. So there's not much going on over here. My berry smoothie rose still has some flowers on it. Not much. Hi guys. But coming along this way, this is the lemon squeeze pennisetum and my freckle-faced blackberry lily. Look at the berries on that. Very interesting. The alyssum still looks nice. And the buddleia, this is one of the pugster. This is pugster blue. The buddleia still looks so pretty. They look frosted. And then I leave the sedum up. And one of the things that really didn't start coming on until like a couple weeks ago was my pineapple sage. And if the hummingbirds were still around right now, they would absolutely love this plant. And then this is the rainbow ascot euphorbia, which I usually can get them to come back for a couple years and then they're done. They're over it. And I have a little bumblebee in the Bidens here. This is campfire marshmallow in the Bidens, and that's still flowering too. So that's one of my favorite annuals that I hope to have in the garden every single year. But I do love the rainbow ascot euphorbia. Very nice. And the whole point, the key to that, I think, I had it in a different location before. And it was, I think, too wet for it in the wintertime. This is a much drier spot around the patio. So my hope is that I'll be able to carry these through with this type of exposure. It's a southern exposure, dries out pretty well, which is why most of these things that are planted around the patio do well here. I have another euphorbia. Oh, it's getting swallowed up by this pineapple sage. Yeah. Oh, see, they like it here. Good. I hope they come back. Yeah, that's a great plant. Great texture, great color. Okay, now I want to show you. This is that Matrona sedum that I always rave about too. Very easy. I never experience I never have to do the Chelsea chop because this one does not flop on me. It's got very nice, strong, upright stems, and then in the wintertime it looks beautiful when it's covered in snow. So I winterized my fountain, got that covered, and then here's some of that Boom Chocolata geranium. Look at that. It's still very interesting, isn't it? The colors on it. Look at that coloring. So gorgeous. And then the buddleia, this is another pugster blue. Looks very dusted. And I do need to fix, so this is a standard form of the vanilla strawberry panicle hydrangea. I have the shrub form just across from it, but the wind did a number on it earlier in the year and I keep forgetting to straighten this out. So that is on the list of things to do next spring. I need to tie it up and give it some support. But if you look directly across from it, this is the rose I wanted to show you. This is one of my, and I try to do own root roses. I do plant a lot of bare root roses, but I do gravitate toward own root roses simply because they're much more likely to, if we have a really rough winter and we get some severe dieback, I don't have to worry about that graft union dying back and then it coming up as like whatever the rootstock was. And typically it's a red rose and I'm forgetting the name of it offhand. But this is a rugosa rose that I've had in here for a number of years. I've got 3 of them. And this is a variety called Frau Dagmar Hastrup. But look at the foliage color on it. It's this beautiful plum color. And it kind of goes through this transitional from like a reddish color and then the plum and then it starts turning yellow. but it develops gorgeous hips if you allow it. So I prune these back too late. I should have left it off and just let it form the hips, and so there aren't many hips on this. But if I'm negligent or conscious of when I'm pruning, so that I do end up with really nice full hips, it definitely forms that. But look at that plummy color on there. So this is called Frau Dagmar Hastrup, and absolutely beautiful clove scent in like May into June, and then it's a repeat flower as well, repeat flowering, and the bumbles go bananas for it. So you can see all the different color transitions here. We've got some green, and then the plum happening, and then there's some red in here. And the rugosa roses are great for this. And the texture, it's rugosa. It's rugose, meaning rough. It's got a very toothy edge on it. So there's a lot of interest. Very, very thorny. I think you can see all of the prickles on there. But super tough. It resents any type of foliar spray, like any type of foliar feed. It does not like that. So if I remember, I will put down some rose fertilizer at the base, and then just put down some of my stuff from my compost pail. Do some banana peels, whatever I've got. But that is definitely, rugosa roses are definitely great roses, low maintenance. You just have to be mindful. I know that they're very invasive on the East Coast and in different parts of the country. So before you plant anything new you're not familiar with, check like your state's natural resource page or their invasive species list to make sure that it's not going to be a problem for you in your region. And then my hardy banana, I might have to rethink that, you guys. It is just invading the space of my ivory silk tree lilac, but it does look pretty awesome there in the growing season. So that is what's looking pretty nice right now. And I love the way the sun is filtering through that pineapple sage. Look at that. Kind of makes me wish the hummingbirds were here to really enjoy this. That red it's like a pinkish red. So pretty. And then over in the veg garden, there's not a whole lot going on. I have some pumpkins that I need to pick yet. And I've got, what else do I have in here? Oh, I've got my American flag. Oh gosh, what are they called? Really? Leeks. American flag leeks. And then also wanted to mention too, the jelly bean blueberry. This would make a really great edging plant. I mean, it's got multi-season interest too. The blueberries are delicious. I'm considering getting a couple more actually because they stay very small, but the foliage color is lovely. They get these little white flowers in the springtime, and they turn into these delicious, sweet, plump blueberries. Really exceptional for a small plant. I think it's like, gets maybe a foot tall maybe it's 1 by 2. I'm trying to remember what the dimensions are on it, but regardless, it stays very small. And then in one of my Vigo beds here, I didn't get around to planting everything. And First Editions Trees and Shrubs sent me some hydrangea arborescens that I was really interested in. They're flowerful hydrangea. Sent me 5 of them, so I just dropped them in. I don't know if you do that, but I use my raised beds as kind of a holding area for things that I'm not sure where I want them to go. I have a plan for these guys for next spring, but for right now, they're gonna be nice and happy, just kind of camped out here for the winter time. And before I let you go, let me show you my sambucas. This is black lace elderberry, and it is still looking spectacular. Isn't that a great plant? Look, let me back up and you can appreciate it. And when the sun hits it, it just kind of glows, this beautiful blackish purple color. Isn't that sharp? And that is my mid-November garden. I hope you enjoyed the little tour, and I hope it's given you some food for thought when you're planning your gardens and considering what you can put in your garden that's going to extend your season of interest. And I'm always considering that when I'm planning a space or adding something or tweaking it. I'm always thinking, what does it do in the fall? And this is what some of my most favorite plants do in my fall Chicago area garden. All right, guys, I hope you're having a good week, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.